Hello, everybody. And it looks like somebody already came in and liked and shared the stream, so I appreciate that. We're just going to wait a few minutes to give people a chance to come in, get settled in. We had two people here already. Good, that's good. So, as I said, we're going to just give it a few minutes. So I hope everybody's doing well. As always, feel free to, as we're going over the articles tonight, feel free if you have any questions or comment, feel free to do so. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put some music on for a couple minutes here while I just do some last minute stuff here. I'll be right back, and then I'll also mute and. Right, I'm back. So, anyways, let's see. We're at 3 minutes and 1 second, so we'll probably wait a few minutes here, see if anybody else shows up. Hope everybody's had a good week thus far. We're now at the latter end of it, here being Thursday, August 18th. We're already halfway through August, and we're down towards the latter end of summer. I know we still have about another, technically, I guess we have another month of summer left, but so we hopefully will start cooling down in the latter part of September. Of course, for sports fans, of course, football season will be starting in about 2 or 3 weeks here. I think, what was it, on the 8th or something like that? Um, um, yeah, on Thursday the 8th, I guess. Um, uh, for 3 weeks, I believe. So today's the 15th, and so yeah. So basically 3 weeks from now. And I know we don't talk much about sports here, aside from pro wrestling, of course. But anyways, and of course, I know in many parts of the country, kids are getting back to school, so and a lot of people are now having them go back to school in August. Whereas when I was a kid, we'd go back in September. We'd go back basically the first day would usually be the day right after Labor Day. So, but I know, like particularly here in the area where I live, part of the reason they decided to start earlier is so make everything line up more with the test, the standardized test. So anyways, we're just, as I said, just waiting around for people to come in. We have like 6 articles tonight. Let me see. So, like father, like son, you're always number one. Yeah, there's buddies, there's pals. Always seem to work things out. Can't you see they're 2 of a kind? Looking for a real good time? Port to the goof troop. As we have a 3rd person here. Hello, 3rd person. If you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, that would be appreciated. Just as I said, just waiting on some people to show up. As always, feel free to, if anything, when we do get to the articles, if anything grabs your attention, feel free to comment on them or ask questions about them. Conversation is always welcome here. Let's see. So, we have 3 people in here, so I guess we can go ahead and kind of chime in on what we're going to be going over tonight. So, we're going to start off talking about some of the solicits coming out of Marvel, some of Marvel's November solicit. That's the first article we're going to, basically we got 6 articles tonight, 5 of them from CBR, 1 from Bounding into Comics. We're going to be starting off with a comics related article, the lone comics related article, as we will, as I mentioned, it will be, focusing in on the November solicits for Marvel. Then we'll do some anime articles, some profile pieces, and some release information based on, let's see. Among the stuff featured will include My Hero Academia, Appare-Ranman, I guess is a racing anime. Let's see. One Punch Man and Horimiya. And then to finish it off, we're going to actually go over to Bounding into Comics. Look at an article covering some stuff that Kevin Smith talked about. Apparently, he was involved in the Strange Adventures animated series they were planning on having till that got canceled, along with a bunch of other stuff. Of course, as you all know, Warner Brothers, their new CEO, David Zaslav, is cleaning house. Also, we have some, we have the wrestling roundup. We'll talk, we got some WWE news, talk a little bit about what happened, what happened last night on Dynamite. May even have a little NWA news as well. So with all that, and we do have 3 people here, so I guess I'll go ahead and get started a little early here. Let's go ahead and get going here, get into the articles. So the first thing we're going to look at, as I said, is this article right here regarding basically these are the November solicits of Marvel. So the Avengers' biggest story ever begins. Spider-Man's evil clone returns in November's solicits. Jason Aaron ends his Avengers run with a massive new title. Fantastic Four and Deadpool score relaunches, and more in Marvel's November solicits. Article by Stephen Girding, published 9 hours ago. Like a female version of Wolverine right there. As 2022 comes to a close, Marvel steps hard on the gas with a plethora of big issues, new series, and more in November. Jason Aaron begins to wind down his time helming the Avengers, but before he says farewell, the Eisner-winning writer teams with Brian Hitch on Avengers Assemble, which promises to be the, quote,
biggest Avengers saga in Marvel history, unquote. And that's saying okay. There's a little bit some typos right there. And that's saying something considering Aaron's Avengers Forever is still unfolding, and All Out Avengers action-filled stories just kicked off. All right. Meanwhile, Spider-Man's clone, Ben Reilly, returns in his new villainous form of Chasm alongside the Goblin Queen. And yet another new evildoer Marvel is keeping under wraps for the time being. Not to be outdone, Venom will set the stage for what Marvel is hyping as quote unquote the crossover of the year, while Norman Osborn trades in his green and purple duds to become the more heroic Gold Goblin. Wow, Gold Goblin? Hmm. And all of that before we get to new series for the Fantastic Four and Deadpool. And of course, we did read some articles on those two series too a little bit, and some new stuff coming out from that. So anyways, um, getting back to the article here. Okay, and all that before we the epilogue of AXE Judgment Day, the latest Peach Momoko project, and much more. And I know I've already said this before, but that's a very interesting name, Peach Momoko. Peach is the English word for that, and Momoko is a Japanese word for that. So she's basically calling herself Peach Peach or Momoko. Um, Read the full solicitations below and then discuss them here on CBR's Marvel Comics Forum, Spider Man Forum, Star Wars Forum, or Xbooks Forum. Okay, so let's see. We got Avengers Assemble Alpha number 1, written by Jason Aaron, with art by Brian Hitch. Let's see. We've got variant covers being done by J. Scott Campbell and Salvador LaRocca, and Mark Brooks. Let's see. Uniting the Avengers Forever, and Avengers of 1 million BC in an epic saga that forms the capstone to Jason Aaron's era on Avengers. Okay, so from throughout time and the far corners of the multiverse, I guess Marvel now has a multiverse, the mightiest heroes of all the Earths are assembling as never before for a battle beyond all imaging. I think that's supposed to be imagining, but anyways, a war that will take us from the prehistoric beginnings of an Earth under assault by the greatest villains who ever lived to the watchtower that stands at the dark heart of all and the always, where an array of unprecedented evil now rises. The biggest Avengers saga in Marvel history begins now. Let's see, 56 pages, one shot, rated T plus, $5.99. Avengers Forever here. Avengers Forever number 11. Alrighty then. So as we continue on with the article here, let's see.
Avengers Forever, number 11. Written by Jason Aaron, art by Jim Coe, cover by Aaron Tudor, variant by Jeff Shaw, the Pillar's conclusion. The greatest collection of Avengers ever seen has been assembled from across the multiverse, representing each of the core pillars of the group's infinite incarnation. But for one pivotal figure, there are no other variants to be found anywhere in creation. Robbie Reyes is a ghost fighter, unlike any other, and now at last his ultimate form must be unleashed. Now rises the All Rider. Art 32 pages, rated P plus 399.
So then there's a couple of the covers right there. Avengers number 62, written by Jason Aaron, with art by Ivan Fiorella, cover by Javier Garon. Extreme Marvel, let's see, and then we have, of course, variant covers by one by Mike McCona, Extreme Marvel variant cover, and then another variant cover to be announced, I guess. History's Mightiest Heroes conclusion. The Avengers' epic quest through the darkest and weirdest corners of time comes to an end with an issue that focuses on the prehistoric forefather of all things dark and weird in Marvel history. Earth's very first Sorcerer Supreme prepare to see all of history through the eyes of Agamotto. 32 pages, rated T plus, $3.99. There's a couple of pieces of art from it. And I guess the covers there. These are all out Avengers. So I guess those are the covers for Avengers Assemble Alpha. That's one of the covers for Avengers Forever. There's a couple more right there. These are the covers for Avengers number 62. All out Avengers right there. All out Avengers number 3. So let's take a look at this. So written by Derek Landy, Greg Land doing the art and the cover, and a timely variant cover by Patch Dodger. Now, if I understand correctly, if it is what I think it is, if they're saying timely variant, it might be an allusion to Marvel's original name as Timely Comics. It started out as Time Comics back, I believe, I think it was 1939. So
that might be it right there. But anyway, so hallelujah! It's raining skulls, red skulls, that is. With an unending swarm of Red Skull LMDs on the loose, the Avengers have one last chance to turn the tide before they're completely overwhelmed, even if that means teaming up with the original Red Skull to do it. Dive right in, dear reader, and get swept away by the action. 32 pages, rated C+, $3.99. There's a cover for Amazing Spider-Man number 14. And the one on the right there looks like Venom. Written by Zeb Wells, with art by Michael Dowling and Kyle Hotz. Cover by John Romita Jr. with a variant cover by Alex Maleev. Some other variant covers to be announced. John Staub doing let's see, Dark Web Prelude. Quote: We haven't seen Chasm since Amazing Spider-Man number 894.
It's probably a previous volume. And the FCBD issue, but that doesn't mean he hasn't been busy. Join us for this very special issue featuring Spidey's most dangerous new villain, as well as the Goblin Queen, and a brand new villain that you won't believe. 40 pages, rated T plus, $4.99. And then there's a Venom cover for Venom number 13. Written by Al Ewing, art and cover by Brian Hitch, with Brian Hitch also doing a variant cover for this. Also part of the Dark Web and quote prelude. Forced to watch his son die from across the time stream, Eddie Brock finds himself surrounded by enemies, alone with no one to trust. An unexpected ally lends a hand, and she's setting the stage for the most epic crossover of the year. 32 pages, rated T plus, $3.99. Old Goblin. This apparently is a number 1 of 5, so this looks like it's going to be a. Hey, RJ. I'm sitting in the. chat. All right. Well, thank you there, RJ. If you haven't already, and thank you for the like and share. If you did do that already, if you can, hopefully we can get some more people in here. These are, of course, the November solicit. I guess these are the comics that will be coming out from Marvel coming this November. So hopefully it provides some good information for you. And of course, as always, if anything catches your attention that you want to comment on or ask, feel free to do so. And then if I can answer it, a question, I'll do my best to do so. All right. Gold Goblin, number 1 of 5. Written by Christopher Cantwell, with Lon Medina doing the art. Cover by Torrin Clark. With, the Green Goblin, some variants by Marco Cicchetto, as well as Ed McGuinness, Bengal, and Torrin Clark doing the Virgin variant. It's not easy being gold. Not easy being gold? Usually not easy being green, but let's see what happens. Norman Osborn's sins may have been cleansed, but his memories weren't, and he's done plenty of horrific things to remember. Norman's worked hard to avoid all things "quote unquote" goblin, and to stay on the straight and narrow. Consequences in Amazing Spider-Man pushed him to try superheroing, and he liked it. But when the media dubbed him the Gold Goblin, he has to start wondering, can he ever get away from the goblin inside? Oh, that does sound like a very interesting scenario. He stares into a mirror, and the goblin looks back, and there's the Gold Goblin right there. The Gold Goblin stares back at him. Gold Goblin, who seems to have a similar look to a Hobgoblin, I would say. 32 pages, rated T plus, $3.99. So, and here's the next book, and I know that the one at the far right there, the first, I know that was one of the ones that was featured on one of the articles we read. I guess this one's in regards to the latest Fantastic Four relaunch. So Fantastic Four number 1. This is a relaunch. I don't know what volume this is, but probably another relaunch. And I know we did read a little bit about it in one of the articles, probably yesterday. With that, let's go ahead and get into this solicit. So, Fantastic Four number 1, written by Ryan North, with art by Iban Coelho, covers by Alex Ross, variant covers from J. Scott Campbell, Frank Miller, and Arthur Adams, Phil Noto, Alex Ross, Ivan Coelho, Hidden Gem variant cover by Jack Kirby. I guess they were. All right, I don't see how that's possible unless they just brought back an old cover that Kirby did a long time ago. Because as we all know, Jack Kirby is dead and has been dead for years. Don't know how that all happened, but RJ, maybe you know how they get a cover from a dead man. You get a dead man to draw out a cover for them. Hello, fourth person. Always, if you guys can like and share the stream so we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. And I hope you guys are. And if you guys have, anything catches your attention, feel free to comment on anything that we're going over here. Um, ah, all right, okay, let's see. They had art. They had art. They didn't return to Jack, so they used it. Okay, that's how they pull it off. That's basically how you pull off. That's how you pull off. Getting a dead man to do covers for you. You basically keep unused art from them, and then when time comes, you use it. All right. I'd say that's kind of might not be quite a nice thing to do, but not much we can really do about it. Now, granted, I don't know if his family got any money for it. You would hope they would, but chances are probably not, unfortunately. Sure, you might have more to say on that, RJ. Anyways, let's see. Who else is involved? Let's see. Todd Knock also did a headshot variant cover. So in quotes here, whatever happened to the Fantastic Four? So, it's the start of a new era for the Fantastic Four, and they're already in a ton of trouble. Something has gone terribly wrong in New York, and the Thing and Alicia are traveling across America to escape it. But when they stop in a small town for the night and wake up the morning before they arrived, they find themselves caught in a time loop that's been going on since before they were born. Whoa! That's been going on since before they were born. That's been going on. Okay, we get the writing gag, dude. 40 pages, rated T plus, $4.99. And okay, Judgment Day, I guess, is what this book is. AXE Judgment Day Omega #1. Okay. Okay, so this one, AXE, which I'm thinking Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, Judgment Day Omega #1. Written by Kieron Gillen, Guillermo Villanova, with doing the art, with cover by Pascal Ferry. Variants by Peach Momoko, Alan Davis, Alexander Lozano. The fallout of Judgment Day is felt. After events, we make promises. Quote, nothing will ever be the same again. For the Eternals, it's a lie. It's always the same and always will be. However, in the wake of Judgment Day, they discover what is truly eternal. 40 pages, one shot, rated T plus, $4.99. Miracle Men, Miracle Man, I guess is Miracle Man by Gaiman and Buckingham, the Silver Age #2. Oh yes, our old buddy Neil Gaiman and the guy who's known for altering Sandman, and guys had a lot of comments on the Sandman live action television series. I know, RJ, you probably have some things you might want to say about that, don't you? Anyways, getting into this. All right. This book, of course, is written by Neil Gaiman. Mark Buckingham did the art and cover, with variant covers by Giuseppe Camuncoli and Declan Shalvey. Gaiman and Buckingham's epic has returned, and you won't believe where the story goes. Miracle Man has his old friend back, but young Miracle Man has never felt more alone. When can a hero from a simpler time call home where can a hero from a simpler time call home in this brave new world? Remastered from Miracle Man 1985 number 24 with stunning new artwork by Mark Buckingham. 48 pages, rated T plus, $4.99. Now we get the reboot of Deadpool, Deadpool number 1. RJ saying something here. And Woody's here too. Hey, Woody. Let's see. Miracle Man has had a long and twisted tale of ownership since its original debut in the UK as Marvel Man. Okay. And Woody, Giuseppe, Italian form of Joseph. Okay, well, that's good to know. Thank you, Woody. Thank you. Alrighty then. Anyways, Deadpool number 1, written by Alyssa Wong, art and cover by Martin Kokolo, with variant covers by Rob Liefeld, David Nakayama, Mike Hawthorne, Jim Chung, Lainil Francis Yu, Tom Riley. Marvel's top merc is back in business. And we read a little bit about this coming out as well. What was it, maybe last week or so? I know I read something. They were saying that the Merc with a Mouth is going to be getting a new series, a rebooted series, and Alyssa Wong was going to be the one who was going to be writing it. So, anyways, we all know Wade Wilson is one of the top mercenary assassins in the Marvel Universe, even if he is simultaneously the most annoying one. But he's pushing to make that recognition official as he auditions for the elite group known as the Atelier. Now he has 48 hours to kill one of the world's most famous supervillains. Only problem? He's been kidnapped, and something strange is growing inside him. Things are going to get gross as writer Alyssa Wong of Dr. Aphra and Iron Fist, and artist Martin Kokolo, Banner of War, take out their pent-up aggression on everyone's pizza-faced, jabber-mouthed, misguided, hate to love, love to hate, fave Deadpool. 40 pages, parental advisory, $4.99. Let's see. All right. Continuing on with the article here. Let's see. Okay, the New Mutant. New Mutants number 98 facsimile edition. Written by Rob Liefeld and Fabian Nicieza, with Rob Liefeld doing the art and cover. The dynamic debut of Deadpool. At the beginning of the end for the New Mutants, as Cable continues his reinvention of the Squad into his own paramilitary force. But their numbers are dwindling, and Richter's about to be the next one making his exit. Meanwhile, Deadpool makes his entrance, but he's not looking to join. He's been hired to kill Cable with swords, guns, a healing factor, and an unstoppable mouth. This merc is set to make a big splash. But who is the new mystery woman riding to the rescue? Cable called. She came. Entered Domino. Prepare for high-octane mutant action from the bombastic 1990s. It's one of the all-time great Marvel comic books, boldly represented in its original form, ads and all, reprinting New Mutants number 98, 1983. Kind of funny. So they called it from the bombastic 90s, but apparently, according to this book was originally published in 1983. So I have to kind of wonder, unless you're talking, let's see, bombastic. Let's see. Let me go back to that. Let me just see. Trying to see where. Oh, yeah, bombastic 1990s right there. But yet, this book was originally published back in 1983, so you have to kind of wonder about that. 32 pages, all ages, $3.99. Tiger Division. I guess the next book here. Let's see. All right, let's see. Tiger Division, number 1 of 5. Written by Emily Kim. Chris Lee did the art, with Chris Lee also doing the cover art. Variant covers by Stanley Art Germ Lau, as well as Jun Goon Yoon, Peach Momoko, these are all people doing the variant, Song Han Yoon, Carlos Gomez, Chris Lee did a variant cover, and Ron Lim. Fierce Fighters! The defenders of South Korea take center stage in their first ever solo series. You'll learn more about Taeguki, a powerhouse with a heart of gold. Lady Bright, a card-wielding sorceress. Mr. Enigma, a street-brawling demigod. The General, a living totem. And Gunnar 2, an android with an attitude. They're joined by fan favorites White Fox and Luna Snow to form an unstoppable team. Created by our own unstoppable team, writer Emily Kim of Silk and artist Chris Lee, Marvel Voices. This is one epic series you won't want to miss. 32 pages, rated T+, $3.99. And we have a Doctor Strange book coming out. Well, let's see. Doctor Strange, Fall Sunrise #1 of 4. Trad Moore did both the writing and the art on this and he also did a wraparound cover. Some variant covers by Ron Lim, Daniel Warren Johnson, and David Mack. From the mind of Trad Moore, Doctor Strange awakens alone in a distant world, not his own, lost of purpose and surrounded by danger. The wandering sorcerer must explore the land of the blades and mystery to unravel arcane secrets and escape the deadly horrors that lie in wait. From the fantastical mind of creator Trad Moore of Silver Surfer Black comes a strange story like you've never seen. 40 pages, rated T+, $4.99. Okay, we got Demon something here. Demon Wars, Shield of Justice #1. Written and drawn by Peach Momoko with who's doing a cover. They're also doing variant covers. Also, some other people doing variant covers include Guru, James Heron, Nick Dragotta, Nick Klein, Iron Samurai versus Shield of Justice. Ariko Yashida is torn between two worlds, the human world and the yokai dimension. A strange world filled with stranger creatures. The denizens of the yokai dimension need Mariko's help to stop a war that's brewing between two factions, one led by the Iron Samurai and his spider-like ally, and the other by a shield-wielding warrior and his panther-like right hand. Iron Samurai, spider-like ally, shield-wielding warrior, and I don't know. Is this some kind of like inference that Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, and Black Panther are all involved in this? Or maybe some multiversal version of these characters? Oh boy. It's like why not just say, hey, we got all these major iconic heroes coming into this story. Why not just do that? That'd probably be something. Anyways, getting back to the article here. Hope everybody's still here. Let's see. Yeah, okay. The clash between them could have cataclysmic consequences for both worlds. Dive deeper into the magic, mystery, and mayhem of Demon Wars by Peach Momoko. Article 48 pages, one shot, rated T+, $4.99. Okay, I'm guessing this might be Planet Hulk. Yeah. Planet Hulk, World Breaker, #1 of 5. So this is another series, another kind of mini series coming about. Written by Greg Pak, art by Manuel Garcia, with cover by Carlo Pagulayan. Variant covers by Adam Kubert, Ryan Brown, Leniel Francis Yu, Millennium. 1,000 years from now, on the planet Sakar, a young woman with green skin searches for the legendary Green Scar to help save her brother from a group of apocalyptic cultists. But which Hulk will she find? And after all these years, is he truly the Sakarson who will save us all, or the World Breaker who will destroy us? A shocking expansion and culmination of the mythos of Sakar and the heart of the Hulks from Planet Hulk. From Planet Hulk scribe Craig Pack and visionary Devil's Reign artist Manuel Garcia. 32 pages, rated T, $3.99. Extreme X-Men, number 1 of 5. Alright, so here we go. So I said Extreme X-Men, number 1 of 5. Written by Chris Claremont, with art and cover by Salvador LaRocca. Among those doing variant covers, including Salvador LaRocca, Phil Noto, Chrissy Zullo, and Carlos Gomez. Hidden Gem variant cover by Salvador LaRocca as well. The Extreme team is back. Legendary X-Scribe Chris Claremont reunites with artistic dynamo Salvador LaRocca for an all-new story set just after the groundbreaking original run of Extreme X-Men. A powerful psychic attack on Kitty Pryde from her old enemy Ogun brings the Extreme team back together for a high-stakes mission. But what secret is Ogun hiding? And will even the combined might of Bishop, Sage, Gambit, Rogue, Rachel Summers, Storm, and Wolverine be enough to stop his insidious plot? The excitement starts here with the kickoff to the arc that will have wide-reaching implications for some of your favorite characters. 32 pages, rated T+, $9.99. Now, before I get into this, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment. I'll be right back. I hope you guys will stick around. As I said, I'll be right back. I just gotta step away for a minute. Oh, let's see. Oh, hey, Robert. Um, how did we get from 1930s to X-Men? I don't know. I don't know what you're even referring to there, Robert. With that. Anyways, um, well, if you're talking about, if you're talking about like, you know, um, obviously I do the historical stuff on Fridays, Robert, but during the week, I of course cover, more, regular niche news. So if that's what you're getting at. Anyways, that's it. So let's go ahead and continue on here. Murder World Avengers #1. Um, article by Jim Zub and Ray Fox, or written by. Okay, I'm sorry. Murder World Avengers 1, written by Jim Zub and Ray Fox, with art by Jethro Morales, cover by Paco Medina. Variants include being done include by Salvador LaRocca, Scotty Young, Brian Brown. Ready, set, die. Hundreds are killed every year in an elaborate secret tournament run by a sadistic man with nearly limitless resources at his fingertips. Um, it's not an urban legend. It's not a myth. Murder World is real. Murder World. I guess that's could that be maybe Marvel's answer to War World from DC? It's online, and the gruesome truth has been hidden from everyone except the victims until now. Meet Paul Pastor, the extraordinary young documentarian who's going to expose it all. With some superpowered help, the Black Widow has a personal grudge to settle with Murder World Mastermind Arcade. But can she stop the game before it kills again? Murder World is a wildly violent ride you've been waiting for. Gut wrenching twist, unbelievable death, the Avengers bloodier than you've ever seen them before. The tormented minds of Jim Zub of Conan the Barbarian, Avengers No Surrender, and Ray Fox, One Soul, Constantine, and Jethro Morales kick off the must-have miniseries of the year. 32 pages, one shot, rated 2 plus, $3.99. And just Sabretooth here. Sabretooth and the Exiles, part #1 of 5. All right. Written by Victor Laval. Art done by Leonard Kirk, with cover by Ryan Stegman. Variant covers by Joshua Cassara and Maria Wolf. Sabretooth takes his destiny into his own clawed hands. The powers that be condemned Sabretooth to the pit for breaking the rules of Krakoa. But now he's free and ready to show the world you can't keep Victor Creed down. Even as the exiles from Krakoa speed along in hot pursuit, a new chapter in the fan favorite saga begins in brutal fashion. But when Dr. Barrington gets her books hooked in Creed, he'll be lucky to survive the first issue. Victor Laval and Leonard Kirk return for this unforgettable installment in the chronicles of one of Marveldom's most vicious mutants. 48 pages, parental advisory, $4.99. Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion, number 1 of 5, written by Ryan North, with art by Francis Mobili and Matteo Lolli on the cover. Variant by Gabriele Delotto, Uespe Camuncoli, Scotty Young, Todd Knock. The Skrulls are back in a giant-sized issue kicking off an all-new 5-part miniseries. When Maria Hill detects the merest hint of Skrulls, she acts quickly to put her defense plans into action. And when Nick Fury is sent to investigate the Skrull sighting in Iowa, he finds the last thing he was expecting. Our pale blue dot is in their sight, and this time Earth's old defenses won't work. Find out who you really trust. Invasion begins now. 40 pages, rated T+, $4.99. Attention retailers, all previous orders have been canceled. Please place new orders using 757-606-202-515-0011. The Amazing Spider-Man number 13. Written by Zeb Wells with art and cover by John Romita Jr. Variant cover by Ryan Stegman, variant covers by Ryan Stegman and Daryl Mandrick. Hobgoblin's story comes to a chilling end, and no one is going to be rocked harder by it than Norman Osborn. Witness the birth of the Gold Goblin. What does this mean for our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? 32 pages, rated T+, $3.99. So this must have been before the 14th issue that we saw as well there. Deadly Neighborhood Spider, number 2 of 5. Written by Taboo and B. Earl, with art by Juan Ferreira, cover by Raza. Variant cover by David Mack. Creepiest spider story in years continues. Beset and beleaguered by the wicked power of Demon Bear, Peter Parker is having nightmares. Whenever he falls asleep, and sometimes even when he hasn't, it's making his time as Spider-Man even more difficult. But there's no rest for a weary spider, and the web slinger will have no choice but to dig in and hang on, unless he wants to meet a grisly end. Ha, grisly. 32 pages, rated T, $3.99. Another Spider-Man book. Apparently, this one just Spider-Man number 2, written by Dan Slott, art and cover by Mark Bagley, variant covers by Humberto Ramos, Ivan Chavrin, and another one to be announced. The end of the Spider-Verse rages on. After the tragedy of the first issue, our spider heroes try to make a plan against Morlun. Morlun isn't their only problem. Shafra is back and more powerful than the last time. She nearly killed Peter and Ezekiel. Last time Peter tricked Shafra, and she's had plenty of time to plan his death and the death of all spiders. 32 pages, rated C plus, $3.99. Let's see. All right, Peter Parker and Miles Morales, Spider-Man Double Trouble, number 1 of 4. Written by Mariko Tamaki and Vida Ayala. Guru did the art and the cover. Variant covers by Romy Jones, Chrissy Zulo, and Peach Momoko. Their friends, heroes, and sidekicks. Peter has dragged Miles into take your sidekick to work day, and Miles is not amused. They're both Spider-Man, after all, so when Peter makes a mistake that unleashes villainous shenanigans on New York, it's up to Miles to save the day and prove who's the true sidekick among the Spider-Men. Vida Ayala joins the fan favorite team that brought you Spider-Man and Venom, Double Trouble, and Thor and Loki, Double Trouble, for a brand new adventure, 32 pages, 32 plus, 39. I see what they're doing here. They're trashing tradition, trying to make Peter look bad so they can push Miles more. They're trying to make Miles look like the cool one, and Peter look like the dummy. Again, and I believe it's to kind of push. It's an agenda pusher. Sounds like and another Spider-Man. Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt, number 1 of 5. Written by J.M. Mattis, Adair Messias, doing the art, cover by Ryan Brown. Variant covers by Ejiwa Edge, Ebenabi, Kyle Hott. The origins of Craven finally revealed. J.M. DeMatteis continues to spin new webs within the past, this time partnered with artist Adair Messias. Revealing secrets and answering mysteries Spidey fans have been waiting for. Prepare to explore the depth of what made Craven the Hunter the most powerful villain he was. Powerhouse villain he was. As Peter Parker and Mary Jane prepare for their new lives in Portland, a man from Craven's past stalks them. Who is the mystery man, and what does he want with Spider-Man? Find out when we return to the time period after Spider-Man: The Final Adventure, and Peter Parker was powerless. 40 pages, 82, 99. There's quite a few more to go here. I didn't realize it was going to be this long. I mean, this is part of the reason why I started this too, because all right, so Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind 1, written by Kevin Shinnick, art by Gerardo Sandoval with cover by Paco Medina. The World Mind is collecting data for the new Xander Pavilion on Terra, and who knows Earth better than Peter Quill? Probably a lot of people, but definitely not the other Guardians. When Star Lord doesn't know what Star Lord doesn't know is that a Celestial has been watching and waiting for the Guardians of the Galaxy to be distracted to begin his plan to wipe humanity from existence. 32 pages, one shot, 32 plus, $3.99. Thanos, Death Note, number one. Number of guys, let's see. Written by J. Michael Straczynski, Torum Grombeck, Kyle Starks, and Christopher Cantwell. The art by Andrea DeVito, Ron Lim, Travel Foreman, and more. Cover by Andrea Sorrentino. With the variants by Daniel Acuna, Ed McGuinness, Ian Gist, Lionel Francis Yu. Spinning out of Donny Cates and Nick Klein's store comes an all-new Thanos one-shot with Ron Lim's return to the Mad Titan. Thanos is missing, presumed dead, but Thor has seen a vision of his return, and it is enough to make even a god fear. To prepare himself, to prepare the universe, Thor desperately searches for answers in Thanos' past. And finds a glimpse of the Marvel Universe's dark future. For pages, one shot, rated T plus, $4.99. Namor, Conquered Sword, number 2 of 5. Written by Christopher Cantwell, with art and cover by Pasquale Ferry. Variant by Mateus Manhani. Does Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch, yet live? Could he hold the key to the salvation of Earth's human refugees? Namor seeks to find out. Accompanied by Luke Cage, the Submariner sets off across what devastated surface of Earth remains, looking for answers and following traces of his oldest adversary. 32 pages, 2 plus, 189. Wakanda number 2 of 5. Written by Evan Narcisse and Adam Sherwer. With art by Ibrahim Robertson and Natasha Bustos. Cover by Mateus Manhani, with variant by Terry Dobson. M'Baku proves his worth. While T'Challa has been handling situations on Earth, M'Baka has acted as regent over the intergalactic empire. But when a foe from Wakanda's past threatens to destroy its future, M'Baka will prove why the cosmos were entrusted to him. Plus, Evan Narcisse and Natasha Bustos' definitive history of the Black Panthers continues. 32 pages, rated 2 plus, $2.99. Midnight Suns, number 3 of 5. Written by Ethan Sachs, art by Luigi Zagaria, cover by David Nakayama, variant covers by In Yuk Lee. And they say game variant cover also available. Beware the vapors of Valtor. The Midnight Suns brave the darkest and most horrifying journey imaginable to secure aid from one of the most ancient and one of the most ancient and dangerous beings in all of existence. What terrible secret from the past is Agatha Harkness hiding? And what does the truth mean for Zoe Laveau's future? 32 pages, rated T plus, $3.99. And before we of course continue, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment. I'll be right back. I'm back. So go ahead and continue on with this article. Blade Runner Vampire Nation #1, written by Mark Russell, art by Nico Suayan, cover by Valerio Giordano, variant by Alexander Lozano and others to be announced. A deep dive into Dracula's new kingdom, as established in Avengers starring Blade, the sheriff of Vampire Nation. An assassination threatens to unravel the fledgling country and spread chaos throughout the world. But it's getting rid of a nation full of bloodsuckers really all that bad of an idea? Blade himself isn't too sure. 40 pages, one shot, 50 plus, $4.99. Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty, #6. Written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, with art and cover by Carmen Carnero, with, of course, a variant cover by Nick Klein. Captain America has misjudged his place in the battle against the elusive Outer Circle, and it's about to cost him everything. The Sentry game has been turned upside down, and when the dust settles, Steve Rogers' world will never be the same again. 32 pages, rated T plus, $3.99. Yet another Captain America title, Captain America: Symbol of Truth, #7. Written by Tochi Oneyabuchi, with J.G. Guara doing the art, and cover by R.B. Silva. With variant cover by Ken Lashley. The White Wolf's latest attack has put Falcon in critical condition, sparked a civil war in Mohamba, when Sam Wilson's role as Captain America prevents him from pursuing his own justice on an international scale. His government contact sets him up with a surprising new partner, an old ally long thought dead. It's the return of Ian Rogers, aka Nomad. But will Ian's return be a blessing or a curse? 32 pages, rated C plus. And considering this looks like there's quite a bit here, I'm probably not gonna go through this. Just gonna so also coming out in November here, you'll have Captain America and the Winter Soldier special number 1, Iron Man number 25, Gambit final issue number 5 of 5 here, X-Men Legends number 4, X-Men number 17, Exterminators number 3 of 5, Legion of X number 7, X-Men Red number 8, Marauders number 8, Wolverine number 27, New Mutants number 32, X-Force number 34, Mortal X-Men number 8, Black Panther Unconquered number 1, Fantastic Four number 52 Facsimile Edition, Black Panther number 11, I guess it's a reprint, Savage Avengers number 7, Ghost Rider Danny Ketch, Marvel Tales number 1, Ghost Rider number 8, Carnage number 8, Moon Knight number 17, Daredevil number 5, Punisher number 7, Strange number 8, She-Hulk number 8, the Strange Academy Finals number 2, Genus Vell, Captain Marvel number 5 of 5, Defenders Beyond number 5 of 5, Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings number 5, Ultraman and the Mystery of Ultra 7 number 4 of 5. Let's see. Damage Control number 4 of 5. Captain Marvel number 43. Thunderbolts number 4 of 5. Hulk number 10. Cross Gentiles number 1. Predator number 4. Alien number 3. Star Wars Yoda number 1. Star Wars Hidden Empire number 1 of 5. Star Wars Revelations number 1. Number 1's out there. Star Wars The High Republic, The Blade number 1 of 4. Star Wars The High Republic number 2. Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 28. Star Wars Han Solo and Chewbacca number 7. And these are going on pretty long here. Star Wars The Mandalorian number 5. Star Wars Darth Vader number 29. Star Wars Dr. Alpha number 26. Star Wars number 27. Planet of the Apes Adventures, the original Marvel Years Omnibus hardcover gist cover. Let's see now. Yeah, okay, so we just read that. Let's see. Planet of the Apes Adventures, the original Marvel Years Omnibus Hardcore Cane cover, DM only. What If, Into the Multiverse Omnibus Volume 1 hardcover. What If, Into the Multiverse Omnibus Volume 1 hardcover. Ramos cover, DM only. Adam Warlock Omnibus hardcover cane cover. And before I continue here, things are getting a little bit more dim here, so I'm going to go off one more time here to lighten things up a bit. Be right back. Let's see. Adam Warlock Omnibus hardcover Starman cover, DM only. New X-Men Omnibus hardcover. The new X-Men Omnibus hardcover Quietly promo cover. Spider-Man 2099 Omnibus Volume 1 hardcover. Leonardi first issue cover. Spider-Man 2099 Omnibus Volume 1 HD Leonardi hardcover Leonardi. Star Wars Legends: The Rebellion Omnibus Volume 1 hardcover Benjamin cover. Star Wars Legends: The Rebellion Omnibus Volume 1 hardcover Fleming cover, DM only. Let's see. Marvel Masterworks, the Uncanny X-Men Volume 15 hardcover. Marvel Masterworks, the Uncanny X-Men Volume 1 15 hardcover variant edition, number 338, DM only. Okay, Marvel Masterworks, Dazzler Volume 4 hardcover. Marvel Masterworks Dazzler Volume 4 hardcover variant edition, Volume 339, or 339, DM only. Wolverine by Benjamin Percy, Volume 2 hardcover. Marvel Studios Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, The Art of the Movie hardcover. Spider-Man No Way Home, The Art of the Movie hardcover. Savage Avengers Volume 1, Time is the Sharpest Edge, trade paperback. Captain America. So now we're getting into some of the trade paperbacks here. You got the home run trade paperback here of Captain America, Civil Truth 1. Fantastic Four, Antithesis, Aging Fantasy, Ant-Man, Antiversary. Okay. Let's see. New Fantastic Four, Hell in a Handbasket, Spider-Punk, banned in DC. Captain Volume 8, The Trials. Miles Morales, Volume 8, Empire of the Spider. Mech Strike, Monster Hunters. X-Men, the animated series, The Further Adventures. Star Wars, Obi-Wan, A Jedi's Purpose. Star Wars, Dr. Aphra, Volume 5, The Spark Eternal. Star Wars, Darth Vader by Greg Pak, Volume 5. The Shadow, trade paperback. Trials of X, Volume 3. Trials of X, Volume 4. Legion of X by Cy Spurrier, Volume 1. X-Men 92, House of XCII. House of 90, I guess 92. In that case, that's how they would write out 92 in Roman numerals there, XCII. X Lives of Wolverine, X Deaths of Wolverine. These at these points, I didn't go just collecting X Force by Benjamin Percy. And 3, Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, Invasion of the Spider Slayers. Silver Surfer Epic Collection, The Return of Thanos. Defenders Epic Collection, The Day of the Defenders. Iron Man Heroes Return, The Complete Collection, Volume 2. Almost done here. As I said, we just Fantastic Four by Jonathan Hickman, The Complete Collection, Volume 4. Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, Craven's Last Hunt. New printing. Iron Man Epic Collection, Return of the Ghost. New printing. Deadpool, Bad Blood. Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood. Mighty Marvel Masterworks, Doctor Strange. Mighty Marvel Masterworks, Doctor Strange, Volume 2, The Eternity Saga graphic novel, trade paperback. Now we're getting into the graphic novel trade paperback. Marvelverse, Kraven the Hunter. And that's it. So I realized after a while there that it was going to be a long so that's why I just shortened it there. But anyways, so let's get on to some other news articles here. We spent well over, I'd say well over like an hour and a half. Just let's see, what time is it now? Yeah, hour and a half. We already had an hour and a half just on that one article. That's something else. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to the anime articles. These should go a little quicker. Most of the articles with the exception, of course, with the exception of these solicit articles, from what I found, most of the stuff from CBR here tends to go pretty quickly. Solicits are a little bit more detailed. But anyways, with all that, we're going to get into... All right, so... Start off with this anime article, and we'll try to breeze through these quicker and breeze through the rest of the show here quickly here. So, My Hero Academia Season 5 OVAs are the perfect comedic fun before Season 6. Ahead of the release of My Hero Academia Season 6, 2 OVA specials help bridge the gap between the previous season and the battle that waits ahead. Article by Sean Wilkin, published one day ago by this point, but it was within the day. But anyways, since September 2021, fans of My Hero Academia have been eagerly awaiting the next chapter in the animated adaptation. With season 6 approaching, set to debut in October as part of the heavy packed fall schedule, Crunchyroll released 2 new OVAs to bridge the gap and ramp up the excitement. While the 7th and 8th installments of OVA content deliver different themes and settings, they provide viewers some insight into what Izuku Midoriya, Katsuki Bakugo, Shoto Todoroki, and the rest of the UA student body have been up to during their work studies. Quickly becoming one of the biggest powerhouse shonen anime currently on the market, My Hero Academia's fifth season ended with the big reveal of the Paranormal Liberation Front and the plans they have for the Hero Academy. Season 6 promises to continue delivering a serious tone battle between good and evil, with Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki continuing their educational journey behind the number one hero, Endeavor. It's only natural for the OVA releases to give viewers a more slice of life approach, but they end up providing some much needed depth to certain characters ahead of what lies ahead for the group in the upcoming season. OVA number 1, HLB, Hero League Baseball. Oh boy. Sounds interesting. The first OVA, a 23-minute feature titled HLB, short for Hero League Baseball, features a championship baseball match between two teams, captained by Gang Orca and Shishido, in a game to ultimately decide the number one team between the Orcas and the Lions. Both teams go head-to-head in a fun, quirk-filled encounter. With baseball rules in place, an added stipulation involves players being disqualified from the game if they are either ejected for breaking a rule or are knocked unconscious for any reason. The hilariously awkward dynamic of Gang Orca and Shishido provide an extra element of humor as the two often butt heads in heated verbal conversation. Superpowered baseball isn't a new concept in the anime world, as previously seen episode 70 of Dragon Ball Super, titled A Challenge from Champa. This time, a baseball game, in which Beerus and Champa formulate their own baseball team from their respective universe to compete in a baseball game. Jujutsu Kaisen released a baseball-themed episode of their own as Tokyo's Jujutsu High and Kyoto's Jujutsu High squared off in a sports affair while using their abilities to gain advantages. A similar twist, My Hero Academia packs the episode with quick-witted jokes, displays of quirk abilities, and a hidden message within its final moment. The first OVA of season 5 is a fun watch and a brief filler catch up to the heroes everyone missed during the extended break. OVA number 2, Laugh as if you are in hell. Okay, that sounds like an interesting title. What this one's about. The second OVA, titled Laugh as if you are in hell, provides My Hero Academia fans with a story closer to what is more familiar to the main franchise. A graffiti artist is on the loose, but the dangers behind his crime don't come from the cans he utilizes to create his art. Rather, the quirk he uses to get away with it. A villain by the name of Mr. Smiley is vandalizing private property in order to share his art with the world, and any attempt to stop him is ultimately stunted by his quirk of making anyone who sees his face break into a fit of laughter. Unfortunately, his abuse of power is no laughing matter when Endeavor takes on the assignment to put an end to his shenanigans. What starts with a more lighthearted approach to the usual hero meet villain story arc, the second half hits close to home with a sentimental approach that is more touching than anticipated upon first viewing. The audience is met with the true nature behind Mr. Smiley's backstory and the motivations behind the acts of vandalizing property. Turn My Hero Academia fans get a moment of comeuppance and a display of maturity from Midoriya during the final stages of this episode. For devotees to the anime franchise, the two newest OVAs arriving at Crunchyroll serve as an excellent primer for Season 6, even if are a few notable characters see little to no screen time. Season 6 is set to air on October 1st. And the battle ahead promises to live up to the hype surrounding it for the last 12 months. And there we go with that article. Said these will go a little faster. Do promise that. They tend to. Alright, I'm going to step away. Okay, there we go. Alright, so getting ready to move on to the next article here. Appare-Ranman works as a zany comedy, but fails as a racing anime. Appare-Ranman is incredibly funny with quirky characters and a great sense of humor. Unfortunately, it fails to deliver the one thing it promises. Article by Paige Velasquez, published one day ago. The 2020 anime series, Appare-Ranman, initially seemed as though it might be anime's answer to the classic Wacky Races cartoon. Wacky Races, of course, is a cartoon, Hanna-Barbera cartoon from back in the late 60s, early 70s. I think it ran for season or 69 to 70. maybe all the way up to 71. So, anyways, with its fun, colorful car designs and equally colorful cast, many viewers were excited to see what kind of silly hijinks would ensue once the big race finally began. But the race didn't actually begin until episode 5, about halfway through the series. Set in the Wild West of the early American frontier, show focuses on a race called the Trans-America Wild Race. Characters from all over the globe, from its Japanese protagonist to posh Englishmen, have come together in an attempt to prove their abilities as both racers and mechanics. Many fans felt that the unique setting was used pretty effectively, just as many feel that the race itself was severely underutilized in the show. Well, even the okay, so they said they draw comparisons to Wacky Races. Even Wacky Races, by comparison, was somewhat the race was the racing was secondary to the humor. The plot of Appare-Ranman. Titular Appare is a young genius inventor known for his um, eccentricity, and stubborn refusal to conform to his family's traditional values. Uh, Kosame is his complete opposite in every sense of the word. He's a patriotic samurai possessing conservative values and cares not for new technology being developed in the West. Because of this, Appare's family seeks out Kosame's help and asks him to keep an eye on the wayward young man. Unbeknownst to Kosame, Appare intends to leave his family behind and sail to America, using a steamboat he built himself. As fate would have it, Kosame happens upon him just as he's setting out to leave. Just like that, the pair become stranded on American shores, to Appare's delight and Kosame's dismay. Without much choice, Kosame finds himself helping Appare in his goal to build a car fit for the upcoming Trans-America Wild Race. All the while hoping that the prize money will be enough to get him a ticket back to Japan. Let's see. When does the racing happen? There are quite a few setups before the big race actually happens. Characters are introduced, exposition is revealed, and relationships are established. It isn't until the series reaches its halfway point that the race is finally brought center stage. But even after the show shifts gears to focus more on the race, the series still remains more character focused than action focused. This can feel like a big letdown for those that were anticipating more zany shenanigans on the road rather than the usual slapstick comedy that can be found in most slice of life anime. Alrighty then. Alright, so once the race itself finally picked up speed, it's abruptly halted by the actions of a villainous character that becomes a big focus for much of the second half. The villain is about as generic as a typical shonen villain can get, from his dialogue to his ambition. His one saving grace is that he's voiced by the ever-talented uh, Kinjiro Tsuda, who gravely voice gravely voice always lends well to villainous characters. I guess he's a Japanese voice, of course. The series still makes an attempt to actually feature the racing, but the race itself still felt more like a backdrop than a centerpiece. Oftentimes, it felt more like the characters talked more about racing rather than actively doing it, because the characters and its settings are so different. Much of the show um, much of the show sorry. Much of the show's attempts of drama and addressing serious issues also often fell flat. By the time the final episode aired, it still felt as though the show never quite figured out what it wanted to be. That can be a problem when you're trying to follow something, right? Appare-Ranman had an interesting setting and ideas, but they were all ultimately underutilized, and that's where it fails as a racing show. It's still an enjoyable enough comedy in its own right, with fun characters and outstanding cast of voice actors. All right, so that's kind of where they're at with that. Ready to move on to the next article that we're going to do here. Excuse me. Now, so we're coming up on 2 hours here, but we are going to get through this stuff. I am doing my best to. All right, so One Punch Man announced his third season with powerful new art. The creators of One Punch Man have confirmed that season 3 of the hit shonen series is on the way. Stunning new promotional artwork. Article by Renee Senza Tamor, published 8 hours ago. Right, the creators of the hit shonen One Punch Man have announced season 3 with stunning new promotional artwork. The news released on the official One Punch Man Twitter page, along with art showing Saitama standing alongside Goro, one of the main antagonists of the series. The no significant details have yet been unveiled about season 3's plot, though the art suggests that fans can expect a big showdown between Saitama and Goro. It has been a few years since people saw Saitama in action. One Punch Man Season 2 premiered in April 2019, ran for 12 episodes, before wrapping up in July. Later that year, in addition to the first two seasons, there are also 3 One Punch Man OVA episodes, which follow events that occur between episodes and give additional development to side characters. The last OVA to be released revolved around Genos, Saitama's disciple. This OVA was released in October 2019, around 3 years since Saitama last appeared on the silver screen. The announcement did not come with any staff or casting details, so it is not yet known whether Season 1 director Shingo Natsumi, Space Dandy, Tommy Time, Teen Blues, or Season 2 director Chikara Sakurai, Movie Animation, are returning to the director's seat for Season 3. Also unconfirmed whether Madhouse or JC Staff, which produced One Punch Man Seasons 1 and 2 respectively, will be in charge of Season 3, or if a different studio will be handling Yama's next big adventure. Yeah, that can be kind of a pain too when you got a situation where, you're constantly changing studios, you're constantly changing directors, you're constantly changing staff and cast, you know. Let's see. One Punch Man began as a webcomic created by One, who began publishing it on their website starting in 2009. Artist Yusuke Murata later redrew the series and had it serialized on the online version of Weekly Young Jump. The story revolves around a superhero named Saitama, whose training regimen makes him so powerful that he can defeat each of his enemies with just one punch. This causes Saitama become frustrated and bored with his job, missing the adrenaline rush that fighting used to give him. However, One Punch Man's boredom does not last forever, as he eventually encounters enemies that cause him to develop new techniques, put his strength to the ultimate test. The One Punch Man manga series is still ongoing, with 26 volumes currently available. Murata's redrawn version of the story is available in English from Viz Media. The first 2 seasons of the anime are available on Hulu. So there we go with that one. So we're down to our last 2 stories here. We do have one more anime, and then we got the Kevin Smith story, Strange Adventures, and then of course, before I do that, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment. I'll be right back. All right, so here we go. Horimiya is proof that rom-com or romantic comedy anime don't need a damsel in distress to succeed. Horimiya is one of the best romance anime in recent years, and its realistic depiction of female characters and relationships is its best quality. When Horimiya was released in 2021, audiences wondered if it would be another typical high school drama or if it carried some more genuine depth. Not only did the show turn out to have one of the better ratings that year, it also established itself as one of the best modern romantic comedy anime. Everything is almost perfect for in Horimiya, from its core narrative to highlighting the fact that not every love story needs drama. This anime is a beautiful story enclosed in no unnecessary school drama, and is far from being cliched. Horimiya did many things differently from most of its rom-com peers, but what stands out the most is its lead duo's personalities. In most romance anime, the leading lady is somehow either a timid, unpopular girl or a strong female who eventually gets overpowered by a stronger male. It's not that anime. It's not that anime doesn't have good female characters, but even in shows like uh, Kaicho wa Maid-sama or Special A, the lady protagonist does her best to stay in the limelight, but the guy always manages to make her feel flustered in the end. Um, However, things are quite the opposite in Horimiya. Kyoko Hori is an outstanding student with brains, beauty, and tons of confessions from boys. However, being popular doesn't hide the fact that she is a complete domestic at heart. Instead of going out on dates and hanging out with friends, she prefers to do chores and take care of her little brother. Um, I guess kind of similar to like My Tohika from My Hime, among others. And I think there's a few other characters. I think that one girl from Shuffle as well, who's also not the lead female, but the secondary female. Um, let's see. When she meets Izumi Miyamura, her personality doesn't suddenly take a 360 turn. Instead, she remains the dominant one in their relationship and almost never needs to be rescued. There was only one time when Miyamura had to step in and defend her. But before and after that, Hori never needed the prince in the shining armor. The timid, shy, and unpopular one in the entire scenario is instead Miyamura, who has always struggled with social etiquette. The fact that Horimiya keeps its protagonist's core personalities true to the end is commendable. Ori doesn't magically lose her charm and become all flustered by Miyamura, nor does the latter suddenly become popular and overcome his social awkwardness. Horimiya does justice to a strong female character who doesn't change simply because a boy enters her life. It's actually Miyamura who is inspired by Hori's strength, willfulness, and ability not to let anyone talk her down. She's so untamed, in fact, that her deepest fantasy is to get bullied by Miyamura. That's interesting. If anything, she actually, to a certain degree, she almost wants Miyamura to take a more aggressive stance. That's interesting. Being pushed around by her boyfriend is her ultimate desire out of her relationship. Maybe because she never allowed anyone to step over her, or Mia is the perfect example of a strong, successful combo that never wavers from its path. Anime was sadly short-lived, and it's almost brutally unfair that it didn't get a second season. All right, well, it does sound like one might be worth checking out. Anyways, we have one last article. I'm still trying, as still hard trying to figure out sometimes just how much time you want to spend on certain articles. Like I know that solicits do take a while to go through. So it's one of those things where you have to wonder, okay, how much of the solicit should I read? Should I just simply read the title and the number, or do I at least go through the writers and artists? Do I read maybe the title and the synopsis? That's one of those things that I guess I have to figure out over time. We're past the 2-hour mark, and we are going to be going quite a bit here. All right, so said we do have one article over from here. This one down here, kind of a television one, but this is also in regards to an animated series. That's why I'm doing this. Right, Kevin Smith shares secrets of his planned episode for DC's now canceled "quote-unquote" Strange Adventures in animated series. Let me send one little message here before. See if he'll. All right then. Let's get to it then. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah. Article by JB Augustine published yesterday. So slated for HBO Max and produced by Arrowverse developer Greg Berlanti, Kevin Smith's adaptation of Strange Adventures is joining Batgirl and the Wonder Twins series on the scrap heap. Confirmation of the sudden development at DC came from Smith himself during his recent appearance on Hollywood Babylon. Okay. When he revealed the Supergirl writer, he was working on an episode with Eric Carrasco, called the director to tell him the project was called off. Quote, I got a call the other day from Eric before all this story broke, and he was just like, in smaller quote, Strange Adventures is officially dead, on smaller quote. And I was like, in smaller quote, what the bleep? Are you serious? Unquote, said Smith. Quote, I know we haven't heard from them for a while, but I guess this goes in parts with the new moves with David Zaslav. Yeah, okay. The thing about now, why I think it might have been a very interesting idea, to try to do a Strange Adventures series. Now, for those of you who may not know, Strange Adventures was a comic book that DC published back in the 50s and 60s. And, of course, probably the main character that was well known for that particular book was Adam Strange. That was the book that Adam Strange was part of for a good number of years there. Had a lot of sci-fi, real good sci-fi stories to it. In premise, at least in premise, it might make a good TV series. Now, it would have made a better TV series probably back in the 60s and 70s, and if you still kept that feel to it, even today, if you don't try to wokenize it, it would probably might do decently. But but I could see David Zaslav's point of not wanting to do a lot of these offshoot stuff. A lot of these lesser known characters, because they're probably just not popular. Like Adam Strange, it's kind of hard to know just how many, aside from people like myself and RJ, who are a little bit more versed in DC history, would be kind of interesting to see just how many people just know who exactly Adam Strange was. What are the involvements of this story? But I can understand David Zaslav's point of view, and like he probably didn't feel that that an animated version of Strange Adventures would have probably made much money at this point. It's like I think a lot of it is they're trying to get back to just focusing on the main characters. Clark Kent, Superman, Bruce Wayne, Batman, Wonder Woman. Those main characters, because those are, particularly Batman are the big money winners. They're trying to also just sweep out a lot of the woke garbage too. So, anyways. Let's see. Okay. Smith would lament, quote, feels like what was once to me a promising future of we are going to see a bunch of DC stuff on HBO Max. Quote, more DC stuff than we would see theatrically, including bleep like Strange Adventures, gone. All of it is just bleeping gone now. He added, quote, but good Lord, I thought Strange Adventures being a, in brackets here, casualty kind of made sense to me. Nobody necessarily knows these characters. It sounded like an expensive show, which is true. I mean, again, Strange Adventures, if they had decided to make a show out of it, particularly an animated show, it would have been better off back in the 60s. Okay, the time that the comic itself was popular. You did have a lot of the sci-fi elements to it. You could argue that Strange Adventures could draw upon, some of the popularity of like Star Trek, Um, so let me see what's going on stream. Let's see if anybody's no. Okay. Discussing the plot of this episode, the Jay and Silent Bob creator revealed it entailed Jimmy Olsen being taken to Bizarro World, where it's gradually where it's gradually let on that something isn't quite right about the Superman Jimmy deals with in that world. And the thing is too is that I think that what actually was a story that did happen in. Now I don't know if it happened. I don't think it happened in Strange Adventures. However, it happened. I think it might have been. It sounds more like a story that was probably for Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. Naturally, the poser Big Blue would turn out to be Bizarro in a twist that's not a real shock, but in a more amazing nugget Smith was pursuing would be 90s Man of Steel Nick Cage for the part. Although Smith admits he never reached the point where that was a lock. After his chat with Babylon, he went to Twitter to demystify his experience of being attached to Strange Adventures, and what the intent was for the Twilight Zone style anthology series. Berlanti's involvement, for one thing, had a few fans assuming it would tie into the Arrowverse somewhat, but Smith debunked that notion to assure everyone that it was to be a standalone Elseworlds affair. The whole point of the show, he explained, was to dig deeper into DC's, quote, toy box, unquote, and spotlight less established characters on streaming, while the movieverse, quote unquote, did their thing. Now, while that does sound like a nice idea, probably just not the time for it right now at Warner Brothers, because they spent so much money trying to push agendas and woke BS that shows like Strange Adventures probably wouldn't get a nod. Focus in on the main characters, try to get back above water, as it were. Quote, their idea was that, in brackets, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman are well known. So they wanted to dig deeper in the toy box for other characters to play with, while the movie folks did their thing, unquote. Smith tweeted, quote, there were lots of characters we could reference but not show based on pre-existing plans of the movie division. Now, mind you, this in recent years, this is not the first time from an animated perspective they did this kind. They did what kind of Kevin Smith is talking about here. Okay, back I think it was in 2008, 2009, somewhere around there, where they had the Batman Brave and the Bold series, based on the comic book, in which by that there was a point where in the comic book Batman would team up with maybe a B or C list hero. There was a time that Brave and the Bold Brave and the Bold went through a few narrative changes. It started out as kind of a historical anthology series, having you know having having heroes from different time periods. Like the main three in the first book were like I think John the Viking Prince is one of them from from early century Norway. Silent Night was another one based in medieval England in the 500 AD period. And then you had another early century AD period piece with Marco, with with Mark the Centurion. Then it became kind of a preview piece. Of course, there was a point when Brave and the Bold was used to kind of open the doors to like Justice League, and then it became a team up event. It would start out as it would eventually become kind of a Batman team up feature in which you, as I said, team up with B or even C list heroes, and then it eventually evolved into just more of a random team up series. Of course, in the latter stages of the book, you would include, some of the more popular team ups you'd have would include Flash and Green Lantern, Green Arrow and Green Lantern, I think Atom and Hawkman, maybe Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. So that was basically what Brave and the Bold was. Now, again, in the late 2000s there, Brave and the Bold had its own animated series, which, again, more recently done. But anyways, and they were trying to do that with Strange Adventures here too. So Smith was aware of these precepts and fine with them. Quote, explained above, but in short, the show had parameters that were communicated before I accepted the gig. So I had no complaints about that, unquote, he later posted. Yeah, it sounds more like he's disappointed that he didn't get a chance to do it. And again, as long as he wasn't gonna try to make it woke, it could have been something that would have been interesting to watch. Could have been something that could have grabbed a lot of attention, but as it stands, it didn't. So as it stands, they're they're going through some major restructuring right now, and that's that's unfortunately one of the casualties of it. Fortunately, that is one of the casualties of it. So let's see. Let's continue on. Superman was off limits. A bummer of a fact Smith had to clarify wasn't a malicious decision by Toby Emmerich, Warner Media's regime, to screw the fans. Quote, it was less that and more what they were allowed to do with any DC characters based on pre-existing movie division plans, he explained. Quote, so if you like the movies, then this boots things was good for you. Not bad. They were preserving the movie versions while also exploring other DC comics, he added. So, like Peacemaker, it was going to be silhouettes and boots, quote unquote, but no Henry Cavill. If Superman appeared at all, Smith stresses this wasn't his idea, just a studio mandate. Well, first off, his Strange Adventures is apparently an animated series, so you're not necessarily going to have to worry about certain, unless of course you're bringing him in to do the voice. In other words, if you're going to try to bring in Superman as a character in the animated series, and then you wanted to have Henry Cavill provide his voice, that then, but just a studio mandate. quote, we were allowed, in stars there, as regards Superman, um, unquote, as each story was a standalone showcase launching other characters. And again, allusion to Showcase. Showcase was another book that was probably back in the late 50s, early 60s. Showcase was used as, again, a preview book, a book to kind of put stories out there. Like, I think The Flash was in Showcase number 4, Barry Allen Flash, before they brought him back with his own title. Anyways, well, the launch was canceled on the tarmac. On the plus side, we can't call it a failure technically. Yeah. Basically, I think what it comes down to is that what it basically comes down to is that, you know, right now Warner Brothers, HBO Max, and all of them, they're basically just trying to clean house a little bit. David Zaslav is trying to clean house, trying to clear out all the garbage, so they can move forward, so they can succeed. So with that, we're done with that. Let's see. I guess I can, because I can more or less just report on before we get to the history here. Real quick, we'll do a real quick wrestling roundup, and then we'll shift gears to this day in each history, and then we'll wrap things up. So, on the wrestling side of it, so the WWE, some things that are coming out. So WWE looks like looks like Triple H is continuing his, remodeling, reworking of the company, in terms of his vision. As it looks like he's fired like what was said to be 17 NXT stars, NXT UK stars, because it looks like what WWE may be doing is they may be replacing the NXT UK brand with an NXT Europe line. So they're growing it to where rather than just being in the UK, they're now expanding to Europe. WWE fired a bunch of talent, but they also hired a bunch of talent. Hired a lot of talent that came up through their like Next in Line program and a few others. And there does look like a possibility of an NXT takeover event that will be designed, I guess, to compete against AEW's All Out. We'll get to more of the AEW news in a moment, but but the big news that came out today was that it looks like WWE may be expanding NXT influence from Britain to the European continent. So that's all for that. And then now for AEW news. So on last night's episode of Dynamite, as we continue to make our way towards, they continue to make their way towards Fallout on September 4th. In the first match of the night, of course, saw Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, defeat Daniel Garcia in the 2 out of 3 falls match. An interesting thing that came out of this match too was that a possible face turn for Garcia, as well as because after basically after the match, there were some signs that Danielson and Garcia were about to show some mutual respect for each other. But then Chris Jericho came in and attacked Bryan Danielson, and then in turn Daniel Garcia said, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And then Chris Jericho was warning Daniel Garcia, "Hey, you better think about this, kid." It's basically his attitude. Prior to that, of course, that was the first match of the night. Prior to that, you also saw a confrontation turn somewhat volatile between CM Punk and Jon Moxley. And it looks like they possibly have moved up the title unification match up to this. I think this is one of the things I heard too, was that originally they were planning on having the title unification match between CM Punk, who is the current AEW World Champion, and Jon Moxley, who is the AEW interim World Champion. They're considering having this unification match at All Out, but there are some things buzzing around right now where Punk may not be completely healed from his foot injury, from his foot surgery. I think now they're actually considering maybe unifying the belts and putting, of course, the AEW title on Moxley, so that they can have maybe Punk go off and focus on completely healing. Also, some other big news that happened on last night. Of course, the Trios title tournament started last night. The match being the main event between La Facción Ingobernables of Andre del Idolo, Rush, and Dragon Lee, and the Young Bucks and their mystery partner. Well, now what ended up happening was the return of Kenny Omega from his long stint on the shelf as he's come back from injury. Came in and they defeated their opponents to advance in the Trios tournament, bringing back the Elite. Now, from the looks of it, it looks like there's a possibility that maybe we're not sure as of yet, but it could be that the Elite might be going towards the idea of the Elite might be becoming, might be turning face here. Kenny Omega, let's see. Among the other things that happened, of course, after the match, Rush and Andre turned on Dragon Lee. Some other things that happened during the night. The Gun Club defeated Austin and Colton Gunn defeated the Varsity Blondes, Griff Garrison and Brian, with Austin and Colton turning on their dad. Tony Storm defeated Kylan King in a match that some observers felt did not really make her look good enough to justify her number one contendership. So there are some people out there who are thinking that maybe you should have had somebody else come in to do the job, as it were. And making a special appearance on AEW last night as serving as the special guest timekeeper for the Bryan Danielson-Daniel Garcia match, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Now, Steamboat is said to be making some appearances this month. He of course, was as I said, he was a special guest timekeeper. Last night, he also confronted the Jericho Appreciation Society. And later this month, in a week from this Monday, in fact, he's also maybe making an appearance for the NWA at their Power tapings, Power USA tapings on the 29th and 30th of this month, as part of the 74th anniversary weekend, in which on Saturday, August 27th and Sunday, August 28th, NWA will be holding their 74th anniversary show at the Chase Park Plaza Hotel, which was, of course, the longtime home of wrestling at the Chase for NWA St. Louis from back from the late 50s through the early 80s. That's another big news item. So we'll be waiting to see what more happens. with that, now would probably be a good time to start wrapping things up. So today being Thursday, August the 18th, 2022, let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. History! 1987 and 2012. Okay. Alrighty then. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. All right, so first off, we head back to 1992, which is 30 years ago today, as the 20th issue of Clive Barker's Nightbreed from Marvel Comics went on sale on this date through their Epic imprint. It sold for $2.50 and was 32 pages. Story was called Circle of Vengeance, written by Gregory Wright, with art by Max Douglas, penciled by Tony Harris. Mark Nelson did the inking, lettering done by Bill Oakley and Jonathan Babcock, coloring done by Noel Giddings and Kevin Tidley. So on this date in 1992, 30 years ago today, Clive Barker's Nightbreed number 20 went on sale for Marvel Comics Epic imprint. Moving on to the next piece of Nietzsche history, as this one a little bit more of a sadder one. So on this date, 25 years ago today, Robert Alexander Jeep Swanson Jr., who was basically known for his work, for his times both in World Class Championship Wrestling as well as later on in World Championship Wrestling. And he also appeared in some of them, he was a professional wrestler, stuntman, and actor. Also appeared in some movies with Hulk Hogan. Most notably, No Holds Barred. I think it was No Holds Barred. But basically, one of the more controversial things that happened is he appeared at the 1996 uncensored pay-per-view for World Championship Wrestling, in which he came in as a member of the Alliance to End Hulkamania and was originally named the Final Solution. But this brought some controversy in that there were a number of Jewish groups who took great offense to that, because that was I guess the term that was used during the World War II period. Putting this, so they changed the character's name to Ultimate Solution. WCW claimed they were unaware that the Final Solution was the name Adolf Hitler gave to the plan to destroy the Jews. Which, maybe. Of course, Swenson, who's 6'4", 405 pounds, appeared as one of the pit fighters in the No Holds Barred movie as Lugrange Perkins. But on this date, back in 1997, he passed away at the age of 40 from a heart attack. So on this date, back in 1992, he passed away from a heart attack. So anyways, getting ready to move on to next piece of Nietzsche here, the last piece for tonight. And I know we ran long tonight. Maybe I could have done those solicits a little better. Maybe, cut down on the information I presented. I'll figure it out at some point. I know that they're kind of they're probably one of the lengthier articles that we go through. So, anyways, moving on to 2012, which was 10 years ago today. On this date in 2012, the anime movie Fairy Tale, the movie Phoenix Priestess, let's see, produced by A1 Pictures, premiered in Japanese theaters on this date in 2012. 10 years ago today, Fairy Tale, the movie Phoenix Princess, premiered in Japanese theaters from A1 Productions. So with that, guys, I thank you all for being here tonight. I know a lot of you left during the solicit. But tomorrow night, I will have the Tomoloviches on, Chris and Diane. We'll be looking back to 1939. The comics that went on sale in April 39 from Fiction House, most notably Jumbo Comics, reading features such as Gilda Gay, the Modern Girl, Sheena of the Jungle, and of course Weird Stories of the Supernatural, The Secret Diary of Dr. Hayward. So I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow night. Looking forward to a fun time, going over that comic with Chris and Diana. And I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.